without any further ado, we are being joined by our final guest of the evening. She is Invicta FC flyweight Liz, the Titan Tracy, riding a 2-fight winning streak, last defeating Christine Stanley at Super Fight League 51 last October, is now slated to make her Invicta FC promotional debut against the 6-2 Andrea KGB Lee, May 20th, Invicta FC 23 in Kansas City. Liz, how are we feeling tonight?
I feel awesome. Feel ready to go. I'm super excited. I'm pumped. I've been working really hard. So
I imagine. You got to. I think this is probably, one of the bigger fights. I know a lot of people are going to be pro KGB. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on you. I do.
Yeah. She definitely is a fan favorite, right? But not for long. So. I like how there was a quote, I think, by MMA Ghost on Instagram. It said something like, Liz upsets more fighters than judges do, or something like that. I thought it was fitting. But yeah, I'm just really excited. This should be a great fight. She's definitely a tough opponent. She's the toughest opponent that I've ever had, and I'm ready to bring it. I've been training for so long, and it's my time, so I'm ready to go.
Liz, how's it feel to get to Invicta?
I didn't hear what question.
How does it feel to get to Invicta? I'm sorry, crazy Brad Storm's coming in. How does it feel to get to Invicta?
It feels incredible. Like, this isn't the top. This isn't exactly where I want to be, but I've been working really, really hard to get here. I've sacrificed a lot in my life to have this opportunity, and I'm incredibly lucky to get this opportunity. I'm ready. I think at this point in my professional athletic career, I'm ready for this. And I'm excited to show the world what I have, and I'm definitely excited to make a name. I'm ready to go, and Invicta is somewhere where I never thought that I would be, really. I mean, as a kid, I always thought, it would be so cool to be a professional athlete. You see the people in the Olympics, and that's
who did you want to be like?
As in, okay, so what do you mean?
When you were little.
When I was little and I was watching MMA, or I was little and...
Or just in general, who did you want to be?
I looked at a lot of gymnastics. I don't think I had like a, what's it called, like a mentor, someone that I really looked up to in the Olympics, other than when I saw like wrestling and stuff like that. Once I started watching MMA, I mean, like, Ken Shamrock was definitely.
What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
It's just so long ago. I'm just laughing because I just remember. I'm reflecting on. I was like, "What is this?" I mean, like, I had no idea. I feel like I've been fighting my whole life. I started Taekwondo when I was really, really small, and then I immediately got into wrestling, and after that, and so my friend showed me this videotape, videotape of a UFC, and I was just like, what is this? I want to be this. And
were you like, what was this, as a VHS tape, or what is this?
Yeah, it was a VHS tape. It was a VHS tape, and I think there was a few, I think Ken Shamrock and then Matt Hughes. I remember seeing Matt Hughes and just be like, my
nice,
God,
nice.
Because he's a wrestler, and I was like, I can do this, I got to meet Matt Hughes a couple years ago, and I couldn't even talk. My friend was fighting that night, and she should have been
awesome.
She should have been the nervous one, but I when I met him, I was like, I couldn't even talk. It was ridiculous. It was pretty ridiculous.
Right. We all have those moments where you run into somebody who made an effect on your life, and you get, you're maybe, you're like sound like Elmer Fudd, but it's still one of those things where it's probably something that you'll always remember. It's like not just because they're someone you looked up to, but it's also you had that one moment to kind of convey and say like, hey, you really had this type of impact on my life. I'm doing this because of you. People kind of also underestimate that aspect of it, and that's the thing that you're going to have the opportunity to do now when you have this platform. I mean, even look moving forward, you're starting to see the Olympics. They're saying we're going to have Muay Thai have a provisional thing on the next Summer Games. They're talking about having jiu-jitsu in the Olympics. That the culture of martial arts is kind of pushing past these obstacles that we have, and we're going to have opportunities to have young athletes kind of represent their country that probably wouldn't have these opportunities where this sport was 10 years ago.
Exactly. That's probably one of the most exciting things for me at this point in my career is realizing where I'm at and how much of an impact I can make, and it's incredible. And all I want to do is provide opportunities for other people to speak and provide opportunities for people to know what's going on in the sport and encourage people to keep going, because I don't know how many people told me that I'd never make it, that I'd never get here. And guess what? I mean, like it's just incredible. And it's like for every person that's ever told someone that they weren't going to make it, like look at them and tell them that it's possible, because it's possible.
Is that one of the things why this fight is so important to you? Because it's one of those kind of stick their nose in it kind of situation where you said I wasn't going to make it. You said I wouldn't do this. Look at me now.
Yeah, I mean, like that. I think to a certain extent that it feels good to be where I'm at, but I don't think I carry myself in that way where I'd like to rub people's noses in things, I mean, like, I'm just
I
really...
wouldn't say you personally saying that or calling them up or saying that, but inside, like inside of you.
Inside of me, what it does when somebody tells me I'm not going to make it is it builds a fire. Like it builds an intense spark that just pushes me harder. It pushes me faster. It makes me want to explode, like with possibilities. It doesn't shut me down. And so, I mean, like I'm just excited. I'm excited to encourage other people to follow their dreams.
Now, also looking at opportunities that are also coming about. Obviously, a lot of people are going to assume that Andrea is going to try out for this next season of The Ultimate Fighter, win, lose, or draw. Is that something you might look into as the UFC is bringing in a women's flyweight division? They're going to crown a champion, all that stuff. Is that something you're going to look into, or you just kind of take what you have with Invicta now, and then if they kind of reach out to you after the fact, that it's something you would entertain?
This has actually been on my mind for a really, really long time. When I was in high school, and the UFC was just kind of like getting blown up at that time. I think it was about 2006. I remember Dana White saying that no woman would ever step foot in the octagon at that point in time, and I immediately was like, guess what? I'm coming, and that was the biggest fire of my life, and I haven't stopped since. And that was 2006, and I want to be there, I want to be there, and so I've been working really hard to get there. And I used to fight at 115 because that's what was available, but I've always been 125. That's just where I am, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to be the first 125-pound women's champion in the UFC, and this opportunity came about, I heard about the tryouts, which are going to be, I think, 3 days after the fight. And I definitely entertained the thought of flying all the way down. I think it's in Vegas, flying down there immediately
Vegas,
after. And I definitely thought about it and talked about it with my coaches and talked about it with my mentors, and we, it's been something I've been thinking about. It really depends on the shape on the other end of the fight, I mean, I definitely hope that neither one of us, Andrea or myself, get like hurt or like injured badly, like enough to where it would keep us from trying out. I don't want to like out anyone or talk badly, but I mean, like I heard about some contract opportunities that the UFC is offering, and at this point in my career, I do believe that Invicta is offering fighters a little better opportunity. So, I mean, I don't really want to go too much into that.
It's not a secret. It's not a secret. It's not something that people don't know about. We were already discussing stuff like this, where unless you're the top 5%, the people that they really want to push, you kind of get lost in the shuffle. Where at Invicta, it doesn't matter if you're the champion or if you're just coming in. They treat all of you the same. No one kind of there's no real difference between how Megan Anderson gets treated compared to some of the newer fighters that are coming along. So
exactly.
I don't blame you for wanting to take advantage of what like I said, I would have no problem with you continuing to stay with Invicta for a year, maybe even 2, and wait for them to come to you with an opportunity that makes sense for you. Well, I keep saying this to fighters, like the reason why the UFC is having so many problems and fans are so irritated because every time they offer you a contract, the fighters just jump at it. They don't try to negotiate. They don't try to do anything. They say, oh, that's what you're offering? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why would you pigeonhole
really
yourself to that? It drives me nuts.
Yeah, it's really it's actually sad. I mean, I just wish that that it was different. That MMA was different. I really I stood behind this. Thought for a long time, like, to unite MMA. It would be really, really incredible to just have the fighters be treated more fairly. I understand that some people work harder than others, but, I mean, that's the same deal with NFL and NBA and Major League Softball. And, I mean, like, it would just be really cool if high-profile fighters, which I consider the UFC, whether they need to limit the people that are on contracts or what, but if they had they didn't have to worry about paying bills and getting second jobs, and like it's just outrageous to me that some of the fighters that bring in tons.
What makes it outrageous is the fact that we've been having this argument about or discussion. Let me correct that. We've been having this discussion about fighter pay and how fighters are treated for more than a handful of years, and then we turn around. The UFC sold for $4 billion, mind you, over $4 billion, which is worth more than a lot of the middle-tier sports teams for baseball, basketball, hockey, football. And the fighters still don't get even half of what gets brought in, where you look at the NBA, it's 50-50, and the NFL, I think it's just about that. And we want to consider the MMA one of the top 4 sports, but we can't. And this is why. You guys have to have a 9-to-5 job, that you have to have other means for medical insurance. 9 times out of 10, all the stuff that you guys have to do a fight, you have to pay out of pocket.
Yep.
Where
you're like pretty much a freelancer.
The team takes everything. The team you blow out your knee for OTAs. The team takes care of that. They care your medical bills, your doctor bills, all that stuff. You don't have to pay for that.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's absolutely insane. I mean, along with I can't wait until the scale is on the outside of the cage. I mean, that's like I wish that we could just unite it somehow, and like get it together. It feels like
one of the things that I continue to say is what will take it for it to unite is UFC fighters to stop accepting these nonsense contracts, one, And two, you're going to need not just one, not just two. You're going to need a handful of the top 5%, the guys or girls who are making the most money, who are the biggest stars in that sport, to stand up and say something about it.
Stand up.
But the problem is that they're taken care of to the point where they're not going to say anything about it. They're not going to kind of. No. That's why the status quo won't change. And until that happens, this is what we're going to have to deal with. Unfortunately, I will still continue to support our athletes, but I'm not going to go out of the way for the promoters. I won't. I love a lot of the promotions. I've had great conversations with a lot of the promoters and promotions, but I'm not going to go out of my way. I'll go out of my way for the fighters, not the promoters. It's just how I feel about it until something changes. Some of the middle to bottom tier regional local promotions, I get it, but when we're talking about Bellator, UFC, those lines of people, I'll always give you guys more the benefit of the doubt before I will the promoter. And it's not like I dislike them or anything. It's just the way I feel about it.
But Invicta's pretty good, isn't it?
That's what we were.
Yeah, but they've also had athletes leave for various reasons. Not anything money wise. It's just opportunity wise.
Well,
we've seen. We just seen Julia Budd left, and she's now the Bellator champion. We just seen even more recently. We just seen Amber Leibrock. She was one of the kind of the up and coming talent there in the featherweight division, and Bellator just kind of sneakily pulls her away. And I'm really interested to see what happens with her in that division because as one of the things I was talking to a lot of people about, it's really telling that the UFC hasn't signed any featherweights, and the fact that Chris's contract by time is up in October, and you're starting to see Bellator kind of pull more featherweights away, so it's going to be interesting. Let's see what plays out in the next 5 months or so.
I'm super excited. I feel like there's just big waves coming, and who knows what's going to.
I'm with you on that one, Liz. I think a big change is coming, and I think it's gonna surprise a lot of the MMA world.
Yeah, I'm nervous and excited at the same time about it, but I love seeing
But at the same time, like if I was the UFC, I'd be nervous, but I'm excited to see change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not change just for change's sake, change for to possibly have a betterment for the sport. So we'll see how it all plays out. It's going to be interesting to see how everything goes. I know there's rumors about this, that, and the third. We'll, don't want to kind of comment on anything. Just going to be really interesting to see how the next 5 months play out.
Definitely, yeah. And I'm excited to just keep my contract with Invicta. I'm excited for what they have to offer. I'm excited to fight for them. I've just heard good things, and I definitely am an advocate for fighters. So we'll see where it goes.
I'll say one thing. Shannon, Julie Kedzie, Caitlin Young, they do everything that they can in their power to make sure you guys are treated right and taken care of properly. And there's no reason to kind of think otherwise. There's no evidence to prove the contrary. So, I'll continue to support what they do because they within their power they do everything they can do. I do hope that the one thing that does change for you guys is hopefully you guys kind of move on from the Fight Pass deal and eventually get a network TV deal. I think that is huge. I still would like to see that for Invicta, especially with Shannon trying to work into getting boxing and stuff like that under the Invicta banner as well. It's an exciting time to be an Invicta athlete. I'll say that much.
Definitely. I agree.
Brad, before we let Liz enjoy the rest of her evening, do you have anything you want to add?
No, Liz, it was a pleasure talking with you, and looking forward to the fight. It's going to be a big one. Invicta FC 43. Somebody's getting punched in the face.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm super excited.
We're really excited. It's one of the things I kind of get torn because when we do these shows and you guys get close to the event, I like to try to specialize some of the shows for the Invicta fighters, but then I also have local promotions. Like we just had 2 Cage Fury guys tonight, so it's one of the things I love what local MMA brings, what regional MMA brings, what national MMA brings. So it's a great time to be to be an MMA fan. It's a great time to be involved in the sport, regardless if you're a fighter, media, promoter, whatever. This is part, I guess, the big boom of MMA. We'll see how it winds up playing out, but really looking forward to your fight with Andrea. Got nothing but love and respect for both of you. Really, I always pull for the underdog. I really hope that win, lose, or draw, you definitely open some eyeballs on who Liz the Titan Tracy is, for sure.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really wouldn't be able to be here without the support of my community and my sponsors, and just all the support is incredible. I really don't feel like anybody else has the community that I have. Just 110%. People have been behind me. I just got a great sponsor from Lana's Egg Whites, and we all know that as athletes, cutting weight is like super hard, and egg whites are like the way to go. And so I'm super excited about the new sponsors that are coming in. I'm lucky that Invicta allows us to have sponsors. My sponsor, Dethrone, I feel like really represents me very well. I'm super excited about my teams, 10 Planet, Team Quest, and all the special little training I've been getting from Rudy Garza and Dylan Atkinson. I'm super lucky, and I've got people like Jason Novelli in my corner, and I'm just ready to go. I've been fighting for a long time for this opportunity, and I'm ready to let it shine.
Really, as I say to all our guests, really wish you and Andrea the best skill. I'm going to reiterate what you said. Hopefully, both of you guys can get out of there injury-free. I know you're not taking the UFC opportunity, but something tells me even if she doesn't try out, there's going to be an opportunity for her waiting for her either way. But it's one of these things where I just wish nothing but the best for both of you. It's going to be a great event. Got a lot of good fighters up and down that card. Roxanne Modafferi is going to be back in action. What's the one fight outside of your own that after you get done that you're really going to be looking forward to seeing?
You mean like on the card or?
Yeah, on the event, yeah.
I really want to see, there's the two featherweights that are at the top of the card that I'm super excited to see. I just forget their names because they're foreign names to me, and I'm not very good at that stuff. So,
I know what it is. You don't feel like trying to enunciate the names.
Okay. I don't feel like being like a jackass. You're right.
It's all right. You're not the ring announcer, so it's not your job to know how to properly pronounce their names. I know how you get sometimes because sometimes I get some of those names. I'm like, no, wait, I want to see how you say it. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think it's like poor show and that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, what she said.
Man. All right. Well, Liz, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you, getting to know a little bit about you. Again, wish you the best. And hopefully we get to see more of you. Hopefully we get you back on here, talking some more MMA. And other than that, enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy the rest of your Mother's Day, and have a good one, my friend.
Well, thank you. All right, have a great night, guys.